Okay, now we have our scatter plot, and in this video I'll show you how to do the equation of the regression line, or the line of best fit, and the correlation coefficient. So let's scroll down in the notes here. Don't worry too much about this formula. In my on-site classes I show one time how to evaluate the formula, but for our online class it's not very important. So let's scroll down. And in my on-site class, I also showed the students how to find the equation of a line using 2 points, which is not going to give us the best line. So here's how we find the equation of the regression line: stat, calc, and we either choice 4 or 8. So let's take a look at that. Sorry about that. That's not the one I meant to get. There we go. All right. So we press the stat button right there, and we go over to the calculate heading in the middle. And you see 4 says len reg, as does number 8. These actually are the same. It's just that this one gives slope first, then y-intercept, and number 8 gives y-intercept first and then slope. I have a preference for number 8, but it's not important. They'll give you the same numbers, just in the opposite order. So I'll do number 8, so I do second. Oh, not second. I do number 8, and I was getting ahead of myself, because the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it where my x's are and where my y's are. It will default to list 1 and list 2, but in my case my x's are actually in list 2, so I'll hit second number 2, and then hit the comma, and then hit second number 1. Again, my explanatory variable, or my home size, is in list 2, and my response variable, or my selling price, is in list 1. And now I'll hit enter. And you'll see here this A and B, that's my y-intercept and my slope. And so my equation of my line, this is just a bunch of numbers, but the actual equation of my line is y hat, as I use here, equals 3,436, or rounded to 3,437, plus 90.4x. Now the r squared and the r, you'll notice the r is the correlation coefficient that we see in our class, or in the class notes just above. If you scroll up a little bit, you'll see the 0.81. Now your calculator may not currently show that. Let me show you how to get this, and you'll only have to do this one time, so this is not something you'll have to be able to repeat. But you hit second and the 0 key to go into the catalog, and you'll press the x to the -1 key because it has a d over it to get down to the letter d's, and you'll scroll down until you see diagnostic on right there, and you'll click enter, and you'll click enter again, so it says done, and now you too will have r and r squared. So r is the correlation coefficient. R squared, when you get later in this module 3 into topic 3.3, which I don't cover in the on-site notes, but you'll find it in OLI, r squared is called the coefficient of determination. So in this case, 0.66, or about 2/3 of the variation in home selling price, can be given by the size of the home. You can also put this line in your y equals menu so you can see it on the graph with the scatter plot. So you can go into our y equals menu. Here are those equations that I was referring to before, so I'm going to clear each of those out. And I'm going to go to y1, and I'm going to type this equation right here. That would be 3437 plus 90.4x. Enter. And then if I press graph, it will give me my scatter plot plus, oh, the line didn't show up. So that tells me somehow I made a mistake. So let's go back. Oh, I forgot my x. So I'll go all the way to the end and type x using this key next to the alpha, and press graph, and there's my line. And this is the line of best fit, and what makes it the line of best fit is that it minimizes the squares of the errors, that is, of the distance between the points and the line. So this point right here, this point represents a house, and this house sold for less than the predicted price. So that vertical distance from the point to the line is somewhat of an error in terms of the prediction. So if you add up the squares of all those errors, this line gives the smallest possible sum of the squared errors, and that's what this SSR is, the sum of squared residuals. The residual and the error are the same thing. Alright, that's all really you need to know for the calculator for Module 3. And in Module 4 I'll show you one fairly quick thing on exponential regression. Thanks.